Welcome to the Game Grin Weekly News Roundup with me, Dominoid. There is loads of news this week, so no time for a fancy intro. So to begin with, there are a few items of Nintendo news this week, as the latest Nintendo Direct arrived with a whole slew of new things to boot. There were new games, old games, Amiibo, and even a chain chomp with a tennis racket in its mouth. So let's have a look at those. So first up, the Game Maker Studio engine is being ported to the Switch, meaning that games made with it will have a quick and easy porting option to the hybrid box of tricks. It brings with it Undertale, the charming RPG inspired heavily by Nintendo's own Mother and Earthbound games. It also means that we'll be likely to see both new projects created with the engine come quickly to the Switch, and hopefully a few more ports as time goes on as well. Undertale, along with the Switch version of the engine, is expected to arrive this summer. And talking of ports, another of the gems in the rough from the Wii U is coming to the Switch, as Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was announced for a port to both the aforementioned and also to the 3DS. The game was a spin-off of the Super Mario series that starred supporting character Toad, now a captain, no less. Both versions are set to feature brand new levels which are themed around Super Mario Odyssey on their re-releases later this year. And it wasn't just first-party games that had the Switch treatment. Oh no, we also had a fair few third-party ports announced. Most notable of those were Ubisoft's adult-themed South Park, The Fractured But Whole, Capcom's superb HD remake of Akami, and the Bandai Namco published indie hit Little Nightmares. But the announcements at this Direct were not just about old games. There are a fair few new ones coming as well, including Mario Tennis Aces, which we saw announced at the last of these videos. This time round though, we've not only seen more content, including an adorable chain chomp living his dream of being just like Tim Henman, but we have also been given a release date. So if you are looking forward to smashing some balls while you waggle your Joy-Con, then you only have to wait until the 22nd of June to get your game on. The biggest announcement, though, of course, was the one that many Nintendo fans have been waiting patiently for since the launch of the Switch an entire year ago now, and that is Super Smash Bros. There has been a Smash title on every home console from Nintendo since the N64, so it was always a matter of when rather than if the multi-franchise brawler would come to the platform. But the huge fanfare with which the game was announced, including a giant flaming Smash Bros. Logo, indicates just how big a deal this is to fans of the series. Rounding up our bumper Nintendo selection is another new item, but this time it's not a game, rather an Amiibo. The Dark Souls remaster coming to the Switch later this year will bring with it a brand new plastic figurine in the form of Solaire of Astora. The figure will be performing the iconic Praise the Sun gesture and launches on the same day as the game, that day being the 25th of May. And there was plenty going on that wasn't related to Nintendo in the world of gaming last week, such as the full release of H1Z1, the game formerly known as H1Z1 King of the Kill, which was a spin-off of the game formerly known as H1Z1, but now known as H1Z1 Just Survive. And yes, we all have headaches trying to keep up with those name changes too. So with the full release is the announcement that the game will now be free to play, and it has a whole new mode entitled Auto Royale, which is essentially Last Man Standing but with cars, so kind of like Destruction Derby but 20 years late. The title in all its shiny V1.0 glory is now available on Steam. In an announcement that took literally everybody by no surprise at all, Activision have announced Call of Duty Black Ops 4. A full reveal is coming on the 17th of May, ahead of the game's 12th of October release, and as of yet, we don't know much about the game, but rumours suggest that in a surprising move, it'll be exactly like all the other Call of Duty games. In more serious rumours, it's suggested that it may be released exclusively on the Battle.net store for PC gamers. And speaking of PC gamers, they got their chance to play Final Fantasy 15 this week, with the souped up PC edition coming out. With all Season Pass content included, 4K graphics, 12 pieces of DLC content, and an expanded map, it is the definitive edition of the title, and you can own it now. And speaking of owning, NIS America got somewhat owned in a major cyber attack this week, causing a huge data breach. The company took to Twitter to confirm that between the 23rd of January and the 26th of February, a breach took place and personal information of customers may well have been compromised. To apologise, they've offered a $5 discount on purchases for all customers affected, but they haven't been forthcoming with how many users this is or what impact this breach has had on them. Fortunately, GameGrin and most of our readers are in the UK, so will likely be unaffected, but our thoughts and prayers go out to all Americans. And finally, in a GameGrin exclusive, we revealed that Far Cry 5 will have the Denuvo anti-copy protection system in place, giving PC gamers on 4chan, Reddit and the Steam forums something to whine about without good reason once more. The copy protection was criticised by people with Fisher-Price PCs for slowing down performance and overusing their CPUs for the most recent Assassin's Creed game. Whether the same will apply to Far Cry 5 remains to be seen, but given the propensity of some gamers to cry like toddlers about copy protection, we're going to assume it will. Please note the views of Dominoid are not necessarily the views of GameGrin or anyone, in fact. So that is all that we have time for this week. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we will appreciate any likes, subscriptions, follows, comments, and anything else that you might want to bestow on us, depending on your platform and preference. We will be back with more news next week when TGK is your host. And remember, we stream on Twitch most nights at 8 PM UK time. I have been your host, Dominoid, and I will see you soon. But until next time, game on.